Christ. And I'm not a Jew. I'm not a fucking, like, dude.
Listen to what I said.
Worship Jesus.
I said, why do you worship an idol and place yourself outside of the worship of the one true God, Jesus Christ?
He's going to pull the ejection handle and say he's just too high for this conversation in about 30 seconds.
No, I'm not.
Didn't he say that he didn't believe in a specific deity, he just believed in something?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's a solid argument. I don't see a hole in that argument.
Emco, you do know that Paul said that none are without excuse and that all are got to know the Lord through his creation and that the wages of sin are death.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh,
I said,
damn, dude.
You know that the Apostle Paul said that all know God through his creation, that none are with excuse, and that the wages of sin are death.
That's nonsense. Nobody knows the existence of God just by existence.
Are you calling Paul a liar?
Yeah, now I call him an idiot. I call the apostles idiots. Because it doesn't really matter, because if you tell me about apostles, and I'm not a Christian, what you are doing in effect is, okay, I have these, you're telling me that you have this teacher, this person that you just mentioned, and he presents this argument, and I just say, no, that's stupid. Because I don't have any emotional attachment to the apostles. If Jesus or Moses or anyone from the Bible said or did anything that I agree with, then I agree on it because I agree on it, not just because this apostle, this important person, this holy person, he said it, therefore it is true.
Virtue, what in your worldview would lead you to believe that you can have an ultimacy of reality that would ground your epistemology in an objective framework, enable you to make truth claims?
That's bullshit. The entire sentence is word salad.
Yeah, fuck that. Basically,
and it's unnecessary.
You're asking me about Jesus Christ and stuff in the Bible, but that story isn't originally from there, so that's a bigger story, right? I mean, am I wrong on that?
What in your worldview would lead you to believe that you can make an assertion that something is true or false without happening upon the Christian triune God, which is required for you to even be able to understand communication?
No, that's just nonsense. You just don't believe in reason.
Yeah, you don't have a functional ontology. In order for you to even have the ability to make a truth claim, you'd first have to have a functional ontology based on an ultimacy of reality that would lead you to believe that you can make objective truth claims.
Yeah, Kathleen, that you're right.
I'm not afraid of being wrong either. So
Emco and Virtue. What's your epistemology? What is the foundation of your world?
I favor realism.
What's your the foundation? Like, how do you know anything?
No,
Moral realism, anti-realism, scientific realism.
You're familiar with realism.
Which one? What part of realism?
Only that which we know exists.
So you're a foundationalist. You build your worldview on axioms and arbitrary assumptions without
No. It's not based on axioms. It's that which you know exists. It's not because you know it, but because it's proven.
You do understand that you only have 3 ways in which to justify a truth claim, right? You got to pick one.
Not really. It's there are lots of different kinds of truths. Truth, in my opinion, is just a relationship between informations. Such as
that's an absurd and invalid worldview that would not allow you to know anything at all. You're basically telling us that you're incoherent and absurd.
No, you're just
but why do you
pulling
have to
things out of your ass.
Like that's
No.
what.
Because first you asked me what my epistemology was, and I answered
But you
naive
didn't-
realism.
You didn't give us one. And you
Naive
didn't give
realism. I did.
You could claim that your epistemology is justified. You must first
No,
define
I
whether
answered the question. I answered the
this-
question, and you don't like the answer. It's like this naive realism. It's an answer.
I don't know, did somebody boot me or did I boot myself?
You didn't leave.
I think you just had a Discord glitch.
Okay. When you say that you have a functional epistemology, virtue, European tasteless, whatever your name is now.
I'm not tasteless. I am a friend of tasteless, but I'm not
That's
tasteless.
why I said European tasteless, right? What is your ultimate of reality? How do you ground truth? Are you a coherentist, an emphatist, a foundationalist? Which one of the three? How are you able to justify truth?
I would justify it. Well, truth is a pattern in the illusion which we perceive.
That's
What
false.
the fuck? Truth
That-
is
that
that,
was-
which corresponds to reality, moron. But Kathleen, you're not
no.
very good at. You're not, Kathleen. You're not
No,
very good.
I wouldn't.
Please stop being.
No, that
Watch
doesn't
me,
hold
Why
up.
Kathleen.
was,
watch me.
why was I blocked? Because I said doo-doo?
Because you can have an explanation. You can have an explanation which is not
This is
logical,
not
but
cool.
still corresponds with reality.
Kathleen,
Three.
watch me pre-sup this guy. Hey, Virtue, tell you know things that exist. Like what? How can you know anything? Like in the external material world, how can you know any of that shit exists? How do you know you're not in the Matrix?
The consistency in the illusion.
What
and also
observation? What observation have you made that's inconsistent with you being in the Matrix? You haven't, because every observation in your life is consistent with you being in a Matrix. And in order to know something, you have to know that the contrary is impossible, and you have no way of disconfirming that you're in the Matrix. Therefore, you don't know that you're not. Therefore, you don't even know that anything exists that's external to you, idiot.
No, you know that the illusion exists. If you claim that life is a matrix, then you know that the matrix is consistent.
If
Your
it's an illusion, then
experiences
it's
are
not real.
your experience.
illusion, then it's not real.
If there is a collective illusion, then this collective illusion is at least consistent.
Look, I'm
and we
not
can
denying.
make deductions and we can make deductions
Look, you're just confusing the question.
based
I
on
didn't
the
ask,
phenomena,
how do you know
the
that your
behaviors.
experiences? I didn't ask. How do you know that your experiences, such if you think you have the experience of a chair,
No,
how do you
also,
know you're really having the experience?
reality
That's not the question. That's not the question. How do you know the chair is really there, and you're not just thinking that you're that it's there, and you're you have the experience of the chair. The concept of the chair exists in your mind.
That is
But
reality.
how do you know it's really there? How do you know?
In realism, it is there because you see it.
How do you know that?
Because you see it.
How do you know it's really there and it's not an illusion?
Because if it's an illusion, it is consistent, and therefore it is reality.
Jesus.
Reality, it doesn't. Reality,
Hey,
it doesn't
hey,
cover
hey,
the
hey,
nature of reality. It's the consistency of an illusion.
Yeah,
Because if this
You don't.
illusion, this matrix is so good,
Don't
so
know.
consistent, it is reality.
It's
Reality is simply an collective.
As he walks further and further, blithely and blithely into her
Yeah,
trap.
but we can all see, if we all can see the same thing, we can all see. If multiple people can see.
How do you know it's
you-
the same
How do you
thing
know I
the
fucking
other guy
exist,
sees?
moron? You don't know
Yeah.
that you're talking to me right now.
How do you know that when you say molasses, how do you know that when you say molasses, she doesn't hear the word lawn chair? So you two are talking about two entirely different things.
Yeah, but this argument is fucking retarded. I mean, it's like saying.
That's a black swan.
Why is the argument retarded?
I mean, it's like saying, yeah, it's your life. I'm just living in it. You know, it's just an illusion. I used to think that when I was like 5 years old. Yeah, like, oh,
MCO
everybody else.
is so confused. MCO is so confused. He thinks that we're claiming we're in the Matrix.
all right, but I'm
Virtue.
just saying.
Now,
I mean,
if it's made.
if I see the color red,
we
you
can
see
see,
the color red.
God is real.
Fine.
It's
If
real
I touch
because we can see it.
fire, and you touch a fire, and we both burn our hand, then we can.
How do you know that? How do you
Huh?
know that? How do you know that? How can you qualify?
Well, if we both put our hand in a fire and it burns off our hand and we equally are like, fuck, that hurt. Like, yeah, we can deduct that we're both living in a similar matrix reality or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you're in the matrix, then the people around you might not be real, retard. You don't know that that person that sticks their hand in the fire with you
They
is
are
really
real
there.
because we can interact with them. It's the ability of interacting with
Right.
the phenomenal that makes it real.
The simple fact is, if you're talking about items or substances or forces that can eat your hand off, fire is not the only one. So the question ultimately is, how do you know she stuck her hand in fire and you stuck your hand in liquid nitrogen?
Virtue.
The collective phenomena, yeah, but we measure the collective phenomena in that.
How do you measure the collective phenomena of your hand being torn off when it's the same?
Yeah,
phenomenon?
the collective is both of us, two people in a room touching the fire. And how do I know that one person is not touching acid and the other person is touching heat? And it just looks to the other person. It looks like to the one person as fire, but it looks to the other person as acid.
That doesn't make sense at all. That would say that because, like, all right, so that.
Also, Jesus Christ.
I would say that we measure. Okay, we measure the
Christ.
collective phenomena in the similar effect. I would say that similar result is sufficient.
Collective virtue of the phenomena. What are you, Dr. fucking Mengels? Dr. Mengels?
It's a collective phenomena. We both burn our hands.
Oh.
More than one person burn their hand. The effect result burning your hand.
Oh my God, dude.
Same effect, same result. Two people see it. More than one person see it. So it's not subjective because it's not a single person who perceives this. I would say that it's collective. Reality is a collective phenomenon that more than one person can see and interact with.
I would agree.
And in that sense, and in only that sense, reality is reality.
Virtue, do you believe in absolute truth?
Do you mean the absolute truth? Not yes and no, because it's kind of like that. Because before you see it, before you see an item, it doesn't exist.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if you believe in absolute truth, that something can be absolutely true and never be wrong.
Well, actually, I'm opposed to both. I am opposed to both absolutism and relativism. No, I don't. I don't believe in absolutism. I don't believe in absolutism, and I don't believe in the relativism either. I think that both positions are absurd because there are absolute. There are absolutes about relative things, and there are relativities about absolute things. So I'm completely disinterested in claims whether or not pieces of information are exactly and always exactly true. I suggest that we measure reality based on what we can see, and effects that we can see, that collectives can see, a collective reality. A collective independent reality.
It was a yes or no question. You answered no. There was a follow-up question. Do you say you don't believe in absolute truth? Do you believe that absolutely?
I just answered that question.
No, you didn't answer it.
Yes, I did. That was why I said it. Absolute. Yes.
To the question.
It's an absolute about a non-absolutist.
How can you know that? How can you know that there's no such thing as an absolute if you don't believe in absolutes?
Because that's simple. Because there can be absolutes about relative things, and because there are relativities about absolute truths.
No, it's literally a contradiction. You cannot.
It's not a contradiction.
No, it is. You cannot say
it's uniformity in diversity. It's uniformity in diversity. How can an object move? Movement of an object means that an object is the same and different.
Your
Objects
worldview.
are phenomena are the same and different at the same time all the time. It's
Go to God.
universe is full of examples.
Go to God. Ask for forgiveness. Your worldview is absurd.
No,
I
it's
like
not.
this chat. I appreciate you guys, even though you all hate me or are mean to me. I really am ignorant from a lot of this stuff, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Miko,
The reason that I don't go down the line that you went down is because so many people are just accustomed to hearing that line of precept. I don't want them to know what I'm doing, so I try to sneak it in there.
Right.
Virtue, you are basically just saying that you are a radical solipsist. That's all you're saying. You have no way of knowing if you are just a brain in a vat or not. You have no way of quantifying or qualifying reality. You have no way of knowing if anything exists. Your worldview
that's
is
false. That's false.
You can say it's false all you want, but your worldview is absurd because you have no ultimacy. You have no objective framework in which to ground anything.
All you're doing is asserting things.
Well, that's just word salad. That's just bunch
No,
of
it's not
words.
virtue. Virtue, there is not a single thinking fucking philosopher in the world of any fucking virtue, excuse me, that has been able to solve the problem of hard solipsism. Do you have the problem? Do you have that problem solved? Could you tell us the solution to hard solipsism without pissing out and punking out?
That's really tough. No, but he accused me of being a hard solipsist.
You are a solipsist.
Yeah,
That's
Oh.
exactly what you're saying you are.
You
Well,
have
I believe that from what reality as we see it, we can see that other people can have the same perspectives that we have.
Are you attempting to base truth on subjectiveness?
It's not
Are you
really
not
It's not really subjective. Is it still subjective if more than one person sees the same thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
It is still subjective.
Do you think experiences are objective or something, Virtue? An objective experience? What the fuck is that?
They are they are independent of the observer, but they don't exist until you see them.
Not the experience.
The table only exists when you see it, but more than one person can see the exact same.
Are you trying to do like some weird
Dude,
version?
he's just talking about things interested.
so like this is really interesting. Solipsism.
It's a position where nothing exists and other people don't exist as well, because you are a solipsist is we can say that we can't know anything about reality, anything at all, so we cannot know that other people exist, and we can't even know that we ourselves exist.
Yeah, mate. Are you literally trying to make a really bad argument for Schrodinger's cat right now?
It's similar, yes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I don't think so, because otherwise you would have to concede that objects can exist if no one knows about them.
Dude, something cannot be alive or dead at the same time. The laws of logic are absolute. You cannot violate the law of contradiction. You are violating that. Your worldview is absurd.
That is why it's similar. Well, the cat. You don't know if the cat. You don't know if the cat is live or dead. Therefore, it is neither. It is both. It is both live and dead at the same time, because it's now just reduced to random. The cat, Schrodinger's cat, is existing in another reality where it's completely
he's not.
random.
This reality. There is only one reality. A reality governed by the laws of logic. Something cannot be alive or dead. Something cannot be a table and not a table at the same time. A equals A.
If no one, if you don't interact with the table, if no one touched the table, if no one used the table, if no one sees the table, if no one has seen the table, if no one remembers the table, then it does not exist.
Still a table.
No.
Kathleen,
That would lead to idealism. If you accept that the table exists, if no one interacts with it in any way, then you would have to concede that all possible all items, all concepts that could possibly exist actually exist in an alternative reality.
No, I don't have to.
The only way to solve this, to have a logical union, is to eventually come to the conclusion that only things that we can interact with exists.
Yeah, dude, you're just continuing to hit the hammer home that you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I'm a stupid Christian and I understand these things.
Kathleen, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, good.
Listen,
Hold on 1 second. My map is bugging me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
just when you're ready, there's no hurry.
No, go ahead. I'm sitting at a traffic light. Sorry.
Okay, you said that the universe is governed by laws of logic. Can you explain to the people here what laws of logic are? And I don't mean just reel off what they are. What is their essence, for want of a better expression?
The laws of logic are what is necessary for there to be uniformity in nature.
No, that's not telling me what they are.
That's not logic. That's not logical at all. Uniformity in nature is not. It's real bad.
It's okay. Let him answer.
Oh, just give me a second. I'm trying not to get hit by a car. I need an automated car right now.
Well, it's got an automated driver by the sound of things.
Come on.
Yeah, Kathleen, I'll try and explain better. You said these laws of logic are things. There's things that govern the universe. So, what exactly are descriptions of these entities? I suppose you could say they are.
Are you asking if the laws of logic are descriptive or prescriptive? Shit. All right, the laws of logic are how we know that we can make truth claims because they are absolute and objective.
No, that's not telling me what they are, Kathleen.
That's literally what they are. They are absolute truths from which without we could not have any understanding of the world around us because we could not know what we knew was true.
Well, you're still not telling me what they are.
What he's asking what the laws of logic are. What are the rules of logic? Because if you believe in logic, that means that you must believe in a code of rules of inference. How can you connect information? How can you connect things together and draw conclusions?
How do I connect things together? I connect things together because there is an infallible, omnipotent creator God who created everything in his image.
Okay, then everything falls apart. That you have. What are the rules then? That is, wise super creator have defined, because there are no rules. You have not presented any rules. You could just say and or that universe is full of rules such as and or if. Then that would suffice. Or you could say that two things are either the same or they're not the same or they are similar. And different relationships like that. That's what you should have told him.
The laws and rules.
You should have told him that God created the universe in such a way that there are these rules of inference, such as two things are either the same, they are different, and there are universes full with conditionals such as and or if then something concrete. So an answer to his question.
What I said.
Where the
literally what
coming from.
Said.
Listen, Kathleen, we're still not getting there. You said these laws of logic govern. Okay, that means they must have some sort of force that I don't really know the word you would like me to use, but they must have some kind of force that they emit to govern the universe.
Okay, I'm going to make this as simple as I can. Okay? The universe and all that we know was created by the triune God. From his nature, his continual nature, all things were created. And because of his continual nature, we have consistency. And because we have consistency, we can know things. Because God operates within the bounds of his nature, we can understand that the laws of logic are absolutes and that we can know things are not things.
Okay, that was all very nice, but
How do you connect? How do you connect consistency?
Virtue. Just hold on. That was all very nice, Kathleen, but it told me nothing about the properties of these laws of logic. You just keep saying they do things and they do that and they do this, but you aren't saying what they are. Now, if you asked me to describe a vacuum cleaner, for instance, which is sitting right beside me, I say it's an electrical device, usually an electrical device that creates a negative pressure and causes a vacuum that pulls things inside it. Okay, that's the description of a vacuum cleaner. I'm asking you for a description of what laws of logic are. But you keep saying laws of logic do this. We need laws of logic. They're necessary, but you're not saying what laws of logic are.
You literally asking me to assign material properties to a non-material transcendental force?
Did I say anything about?
Yes,
I see
you have
anything?
to.
Did I say anything about?
That is why that's why he asks you about the material. He is asking you about how your God has constructed universe in your view. He doesn't. You can't talk about God's supernatural undefinableness because you are talking about the universe as God created it. I can give Platonius and the Neoplatonists. They combined Christianity with philosophy in a very brilliant way, and they give a very good idea of how to combine rational philosophy with belief in a deity which is beyond rational belief. You should really look up on it.
Don't listen to anything he said, Kathleen, because it's not representing my position at all.
I know it's not representing your position, which is why I basically ignore what he said. Right? My problem with what you're asking me is you are asking me to assign material properties to an immaterial thing. I can't do that.
No, I'm not. I didn't ask you to assign anything of material or immaterial. I just asked you to give me an explanation of what laws of logic are.
And I've given you an explanation of what laws of logic are. I can give you a specific definition.
No, you didn't.
No, you haven't. You keep saying what they do. You keep saying that they're necessary. You keep saying they come from God. You keep saying shit about what they do, but not what they are.
Yeah,
it's
no,
God. It's all God's will. I need no explanation. It's just God's will.
I said laws of logic are part of the continual nature of the Creator God.
No,
logic
they're really not.
Created.
That means nothing to me. I don't even believe there's a Creator God. So that's just worthless words.
It doesn't
it's just
matter.
It's just authority.
It's just a look. I don't care, right? You have no ability to ground anything you say in any kind of abject reality. Most of the atheists in here at least have the ability to say that they have some form of ultimacy of reality in which they can ground objective things in. You haven't even given me that.
Yeah, that's all very nice,
That's
but you
nonsense.
still haven't answered my question about what laws of logic are.
The laws of logic are part of the continual nature of God.
Being part of something is not what it is.
It is.
No.
It is.
Logic is not God.
God.
Logic would be how God created this universe. So the rules of logic are something that are defined.
Don't you get me?
Logic is defined. It's something very exact. It would be how God has created this universe. You can't say Okay, the logic is just God. It's just whatever God. That's really fucking stupid. Because,
Yeah,
and it's not even an argument against God to claim. Logic is material. Logic itself is material. It will
No,
be
logic by
how
itself
the
is
universe
not.
is constructed by
No,
this
you
non-material
actually-
entity. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Logic
What?
is material.
And if you're
That
just
is
going to
what
continue,
material means.
I'm just going to continue to ignore you, okay? Until you can give me some way of explaining in your worldview that you have an ultimacy of reality. Because
I told you reality is neither absolute nor non-absolute.
yeah, I know what you said.
Realistic.
I know what you said, and then you claim that absolutely while denying absoluteness. You are
Yes,
literally
exactly. Because there are absolutes about non-absolute things, and there are relativities of absolute things. They interact. They are not opposites. Because the universe is a constellation of different set of classes, and some constellation. A constellation is both relative and objective at the same time.
Yeah. What did you say about Christian Hillbilly?
Go Christian Hillbilly on this.
No, because I don't like Christian Hillbilly, right? But I mean, my problem with him is he's just rambling on, right? Here's the thing, mate. The impossibility of your worldview means that nothing that you say has any relevance to any topic discussed. You have no way of asserting anything other than your mental capacity, and your mental capacity is subjective by its very nature. So when you make a claim that what I am saying is wrong, you have no justification or ability in which to back that up.
Yes, we do. We do have logic.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You have none.
There is no connection between what you're saying.
You have none. You have none.
You're just saying that. But you are not logical. You're not connected. Logic is about connecting information to a conclusion.
As a coherentist, an infantist, or a foundationalist? Which one? Which one of those three?
I would be a naive realist.
That's not one of the three. You only get to pick one of the three. There's only three ways you can justify truth. From either an axiomatic worldview, an infinitely regressive worldview, or a circular worldview. Which one do you pick?
Neither.
Well, then you can't justify shit, and everything that you say is wrong, regardless.
More assertions.
The only way that you can know anything is by borrowing from my worldview.
More assertions.
No, I say that reality exists because you can see it. But senses is not the same thing.
I assert that you're nothing but a brain in a vat being controlled by a mad scientist. Prove me wrong.
If the consistency in this illusion or this dream is consistent enough, then that's is reality.
A dream is not reality.
Kathleen,
yes,
it doesn't matter because that's reality. That is reality. Reality is simply a consistent experience of that which is outside of yourself.
It's absurd. Anyway,
that's exactly what reality is. Reality is just a consistent illusion.
No,
it's not. I'm not a subjectivist because subjectivists don't believe that there is any sort of consistency or rules of inference in how you perceive things. And according to subjectivists, more than one person cannot perceive the same reality.
Hold on a second, Aaron. Give me just 1 second here. I got to bow out for a second. Just hold on.
What the fuck was that? Kathleen, listen, are you asserting that it is actually possible for him to be under the control of a mad scientist?
I think she needed to reboot. She
dropped out.
Because if that is the case, then she's just abandoned her Christian worldview.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, how do you use this crap? I just got on here.
Hey, wait.